I settled into the armchair beside them, crossing my legs, the edge of my glass cool beneath my fingertips. The night had started like any other light jokes, stories we'd each already heard twice, the comfort of familiarity. But underneath it all, something felt unsettled. My best friend, Alina, sighed as she sank deeper into the couch. Her shoulders looked weighed down, like she'd been carrying a heaviness she couldn't name out loud. "I swear, I don't even remember what it feels like to be with someone," she murmured, staring into her drink. I raised a brow. "That's honestly kind of sad." She groaned. "It is. It's been months, maybe even a year. I don't even know anymore." I laughed softly. "Couldn't be me. I can't go a week without feeling close to my husband." Yeah, she muttered. "We get it. You won the husband lottery." "I did," I admitted, not shy about it. Though, to be fair, the man knows exactly how to make me feel appreciated. Alina let out a long breath, the kind that wasn't tired from the day, but tired from life. Her voice dipped quieter. "Must be nice." I studied her face. She looked empty in a way that had nothing to do with sleep, more like she'd been starved of tenderness, of being understood, for far too long. "Maybe that's the real problem," I said gently. She frowned. "What problem? You think you feel like this because of your divorce." I paused, searching her eyes. "But maybe you just need someone who reminds you what it feels like to be cared for." Her head jerked up. "Excuse me?" I took a slow sip. "I mean, you wouldn't have to go far." "What does that mean?" I let the silence stretch. Let her look at me. Let her guess. Then, quietly, I said, "What if I shared a little of what I have?" Her breath caught. "You're kidding." I didn't answer. Not with words. Just with a small, knowing smile. The proposition. Later that night, when the house was quiet and the world felt smaller, I lay beside my husband. His breathing was steady, his warmth familiar in the dark. I traced slow lines across his chest, letting the calm settle around us. "That was a good night," I murmured. His lips curved lazily. You're in a good mood." I let the silence linger before I spoke again. "She needs this." His eyes opened. "Who? Alina?" "Yes." I sat up slightly. "She's miserable, lonely. She's forgotten what it feels like to be seen." He frowned, confused but listening. I leaned closer, my voice soft. "Maybe you could help." He stiffened. "Wait, you're serious?" I nodded. "She needs connection. Not romance, not anything messy. Just the kind of comfort you give without even trying." He dragged a hand over his face. "I don't know." "You trust me, don't you?" I whispered. His fingers tightened at my waist. Hesitation lingered, but so did curiosity. The next morning, while I poured coffee, he walked into the kitchen rubbing his eyes. "We should invite her over," I said lightly. He paused. "Invite her to talk?" I smirked. "You'll see." He didn't say no. He didn't say yes either. But he didn't walk away. That was enough. I texted her. She replied almost instantly. Sure, I could use the company. When she arrived later that afternoon, she looked different, still tired, but less hollow. Like hope had nudged its way back in, one small inch at a time. We sat with coffee, quiet at first. I could feel my heartbeat in my fingertips. "I've been thinking about what we talked about," I said. She shot me a sideways glance. Maybe what? "Maybe I get what you were saying," she admitted. "But opening up again? That's not easy." "What if it could be?" I asked gently. She frowned. "How?" I reached for my husband's wrist, a simple gesture, yet one that changed the air in the room completely. She stared. Between the three of us, a new kind of silence formed. Not uncomfortable, just charged. Curious. "Between us," I said softly. "We want to help." She swallowed. "You're serious?" I nodded. "You trust me, don't you?" I asked. A long pause. Then she set her coffee down. "What exactly are you suggesting?" I smiled. "Let me show you."
The room of truth. The bedroom felt different that day, quieter, softer, like we'd stepped into a space where truth came easier. She walked in slowly, still unsure. My husband followed behind me, tension in his shoulders, but a calm resolve in his steps. I turned to him first, guiding him gently with my hands, nothing intimate, just grounding. He relaxed under my touch. Then I faced her. She stood still, waiting for a cue she couldn't yet name. I placed my hands on her shoulders. She didn't pull away. The air shifted, warmth replacing hesitation. My husband offered his hand to her. Slowly, she took it. Her breath wavered. I stepped back into the chair by the bed, giving them space, letting the moment belong to them, rather than me. What unfolded wasn't physical. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't forbidden. It was human. The two of them talked quietly, voices low but steady. She opened up in ways she hadn't in months, stories about the divorce, about the loneliness that chewed at her in the nights, about how she'd forgotten what it felt like to be held emotionally, not physically. He listened with a patience I had fallen in love with years ago. His tone was soft, reassuring. He told her she wasn't broken, that she wasn't hard to love, that grief didn't make her unlovable. Her shoulders slowly untensed, her breathing steadied, her eyes softened. I felt something warm swell in my chest, not jealousy, not desire, just a deep, aching tenderness. This was what she needed. Not him, not me, not us. Connection, safety, witnessing. I stood and walked closer, placing a gentle hand on her back. "You're doing fine," I whispered. She exhaled a trembling breath. Then she leaned her head lightly against my shoulder, just for a moment, letting herself be held. My husband rested a reassuring hand on my arm. Together, in that quiet room, the three of us breathed the same calm air. Not entangled, not romantic, just present. And presence, real, intentional presence, can be more intimate than anything else. Aftermath. The moment eventually dissolved into stillness. A peaceful kind of quiet filled the room. We stayed there, the three of us, like a small constellation, each star separate, but held in the same space. She laughed softly, not the brittle laugh she'd used for months, but something real. "I didn't realize how much I needed this," she whispered. I brushed her hair behind her ear. "Everyone needs to feel cared for." My husband nodded. "You don't have to do everything alone, Alina." Her eyes glistened, not with heartbreak, but with relief. "I thought asking for help meant I'd failed," she said. "It doesn't," I replied. "It means you're human." We walked her to the door later, the evening light warm on her face. She hugged both of us tightly, longer than usual. "Thank you," she murmured. "For what?" I asked. "For reminding me I still matter." When the door closed behind her, my husband let out a long breath. "That was something," he said. I smiled. It was exactly what she needed. He slipped an arm around my waist. "And you're okay with all of this?" "Of course," I said softly, because it wasn't about us sharing anything physical. It was about giving her a moment of tenderness she hasn't had in far too long. He kissed my forehead. "You have a big heart." "I share what I can," I said, leaning against him. And for the first time in months, I felt peace settle into the house. Connection didn't always require romance. Healing didn't always require touch. And sometimes, the most intimate thing you can offer someone is simply the space to be seen again.